Good evening. This video we're gonna share some best practice or guidelines on data model design in MongoDB. So because MongoDB you can choose using embed. You can embed your document, or you can using a join, or some people call link. Okay, so when should we use what, right? And don't be surprised. Okay, I have everything is here already. So if it's in one-to-one relationship, you can use a link, you can use an embed in either side is fine, or embedded in both sides is also fine. Suppose we assume for like each person only has one resume. Okay, some people say I have multiple. Okay, let's assume just have one, and the one resume only belongs to one person. Okay, so what you can do, you can embed, like which is design only one table, which is a person. One collection, which is a person. And then you can design only one collection, and in the person you have ID and have a name and others, and you have a resume. And here in the resume it only has one, right? So it's gonna be embedded document like a resume ID and other informations about resume. So in this case we link resume on the person. Okay, and also you can only has a resume table collection, and in the resume you can have resume ID and the resume information about the resume, like the jobs or history or things. And also here you can embed for the person, and here you will using the ID and the name about the person. Okay, you can do either of them. Okay, you can embed in both sides or either side. You can also use a link. Okay, and to choose which one, resume or person, is based on how you display the information on the website. How do you access the information? Suppose when you go to the website, you most of the time you just display person information. Then in this case you just using this way is better, because you always you have a frequent access to update or delete, to update or insert to update information or access the information about a person. It's better to create the person table, right? But if your application is mostly which is poor information about the resume, then you will design a table using a resume, then embed the person. Okay, so this is a one-to-one relationship. And when we talk about one-to-many, like in SQL, when we say one-to-many, no matter it's we don't care. We just using a join table or using the foreigner key. Okay. And in MongoDB, when we do the design with a one-to-many relationship, we will consider it's a one-to field. We will do another consideration, which is a one-to field, or it's actually one-to-many, like one-to field, or like the person. A person and address. Okay, suppose a person can have a multiple address, like for us, like international. I'm Chinese, not native American, so I will have address which is Chinese address, and I will have address which is currently US address, right? So a person has a multiple address, but this address is one-to field, because I cannot have 10,000 address. Okay, so a person cannot have lots of address. In this case, we suggested to use embed, which is we have a person table, person collection. Why do I always speak a table? we have a person collection and have a person ID and a name, and we will embed the address inside the person addresses. And here we're gonna using an array, and you're gonna have each document gonna represent one address belongs to this person. So this is one case in one-to-many relationship, which is we're using embedding. But if we have a very, very large of information, then we suggest to using the linking. What kind of thing should I say? What's the example? How about a city and people? Okay, so if a city has a very, very, very large of people, this is a one-to-many, then you can using linking, okay, have a city link. But this way you can also do another design, because people might only belongs to a few city, right? In this case is ManytoOne. In this case we can also embed the city in the people, okay, but you cannot embed the people in the city because it's too much, okay. So in this case you can using the link. This is a one-to-many, okay. Oh, sorry. This is a one-to-many. When we do one-to-many, first think about it's a one-to-few or it's actually one-to-many. If it's one-to-few, then using embed, okay. And next one is many-to-many. Many-to-many, you also need to consider it's a few-to-few, which means not a lot, you know. Then you're using embed. And if it's a lot, okay, like I think the user and order is quite a lot, but user and order is one-to-many. Many-to-many, what kind of example can be in many-to-many? Suppose we have a book. Suppose we have a book and we have an author. Okay, a book can have many authors, right? And an author can write many books. Suppose we are thinking the each author want to write so many books, okay? If people write one book per year, then entire life probably 100 books he can write. Okay, we think the book and author is a few-to-few. In this case, then you can do the embedding, which means you can in the book collection, right? Then you can embed like ID, yes, title, okay, and then here we will have authors. Okay, then in this case we will embed all the authors here, which is gonna have the entire author information like ID is author and the author name and let's say birth date, okay, like this, and each document. And the problem is with this way, the problem is if you want to change the author information, then you have to go through all the books, then find all the authors, then change. But because we are only has a few, so we just ignore the performance on this case, okay. And this is also related to in SQL database. It's also related to the third form, the normal. We have the first normal, second normal. There's another one called the third normal. Third normal is called third normal. I only know Chinese name, which means because we have duplicated records. Suppose we can have in this collection we might have multiple book, right? Multiple books. The author will contain the same value. Then your author information is repeated in multiple documents. but it's a few, so we just ignore it. And if we really have lots of information, which is many-to-many, then it's better to do an embedding, like student and courses. Suppose we think this student course is in Udemy. Udemy has many courses, right? As a user and courses. How about that? A user and courses. On Udemy, a user can take many courses, right? And a course can be taken by many users, right? This makes sense. This is many-to-many, okay? And this is a larger set because on Udemy we have many users, and on Udemy it also has many courses. So in this case, it's better to do the linking instead of embedding, because if you want to change like this way, you have to change all the places. It's gonna very time consuming. It's not good for the performance. So here we talk about 3 scenarios based on relationship to decide when to embed or when not to embed. And you also need to keep in mind when we're using embed document, okay, and your data cannot be greater than 6 megabytes. If your embedded document is greater than this one, then you have to use the link, which is stored in another table. Okay. So that's it for this topic, embedding or not embedding. Probably in your real application, you might think about using different practice based on the real scenario. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. See you. Bye bye.